Hey guys, I'm back. And here I want to talk about my opinions on racism and potentially how to fix some of the problems of racism and kind of start a discussion on, how bad things are currently. Um, Personally, my opinions on racism are going to be quite different from, I guess, a few people or a lot of people. Um, and I'll probably be quoting something very similar to like what Morgan Freeman said, is pretty much stop talking about it. Um, in a way, I do believe that's true, and I say this because a lot of people are talking about racism. A lot of people are, you know, making racism a lot worse than I think it should be. I agree that it should be addressed. I agree that there is racism everywhere, and it can't really be fixed in a way because I mean, where people and their views on others is sometimes it's from house bringing and stuff like that, and yeah, I guess it would be a good way to to show them exactly on how to do it, but I don't like the fact that we're pushing it so hard to where it's making people angry or uncomfortable. So for a good example is that if you have the Black Anthem, for example, I don't see how that really helps black people or how that even makes people want to, join in on the cause. Because you essentially what you're doing is that you're saying black people this, black people that, and we're like the worst discriminated against, but ignoring the fact that like Asians, Mexicans, and all these other races are they're not being discriminated against either, or like they're not what they're not the problem, but but the black people are, and I don't like that example, and I don't really like the Black Anthem really be represented in like in this type of setting or a lot of settings because it doesn't. I don't think it like actually helps. I think it just diversifies people, rather than actually trying make people come together. We have the national anthem, and I may believe the actual anthem is meant for everyone involved, everybody that's in this country, the USA, rather than just the black anthem was only pertaining to one particular group of people. And I keep on telling people this: if there is a black anthem, then there needs to be a Mexican, Asian, Filipino, etc. All different kind of races anthem because they are being discriminated against too. I may believe there's people that are saying that uh, black people are mostly getting shot and stuff like that. And yeah, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that like other races are not being shot as well. Um, there's quite a few videos that particularly show that there are other races being hurt too. I may believe the biggest stigmata right now, the biggest people that are actually getting the most hate is white people, and I would have to there was a guy that simply that was white. He specifically got shot mercilessly by having him crawl into the floor, and um, he really didn't do anything wrong. He was gunned down like he was pretty much an animal, and he was white, but nobody was outraged by that. Nobody talked about that, and that's what majorly concerns me. Is when it happens to a white person, it's not a problem, but when it happens to a black person, oh god, all hell breaks loose, and that's my problem. And I don't like that narrative. I want all victims are being cruelly unjustified by the police to actually be fit and to actually be talked about as well, not just like one specific race. I feel like a lot of people are just going out of one specific race and um, rather than going after all the races and protecting all the people that are being cruelly discriminated against like people of the police. Um, now now, the way we could probably fix this, in my personal opinion, is to come together and stop the divide. I may believe the elites, or I guess some people would call them Democrats. I like to clarify them as elites because I've talked to people that are more on some people that are on the Democratic side, some people that are that are also consider themselves liberals, and they don't have the same way of thinking or the things that these other people have. And I may believe that these people have every right to share their opinions, and they're not really being talked about as much. It's always like the far leftists, or we keep on calling them like the Democrats, and I may believe that would be the correct term because I would say Democrats are probably mostly at fault here, but we also have Republicans too as well that are also at fault. They're not innocent either, and this is the reason why I like to clarify them as elites because the elites are the ones that are doctrinating and trying to shut everybody out, while there's just regular people just living their lives, and this is the truth that I've been seeing recently as of the past couple of years. Um, so I'm going to label them as elites, and the elites keep on pushing this narrative: white people are bad, white people are this, and and it's like I keep on saying, out of all my white friends that I do know, and as far as I know, they're not racist, and to label them as being racist or all of them are racist is just racism in itself. Um, Not every white person is racist. Not every black person is racist, and not every Mexican is racist. Um, so we have to come with that kind of mind, that kind of thinking. Thinking that every white person is racist is just you just trying to make you either feel better about yourself, or you're just trying to push a narrative or just you just being racist yourself. I don't think every white person is racist. I don't think every black person is racist, and I don't think every Mexican is racist. I don't think anybody of a particular race is all those people are being racist. And what the media and what the people are doing is that they're pushing like every single black person or every single white person rather as a racist entity, and they should be shamed and shunned or punished for what they did. Okay, well, let's go back, I don't know, 50 years. I don't think the people of white people of even today I even have that kind of racism or bigotry in there that had anything to do with the black slaves back then. Like it was over like 100 years ago, and the white people of today don't even have any association with that. Like, yeah, there are some racist people because in like the 1860s, the black rights, and women and stuff like that. Yeah, we that was not too far off. However, the white people of today have not been dealt with slavery. The white people didn't have anything to do with slavery of today. Like, as of now, I would say starting of even in the 1990s, anybody born in the 1880s, hell, to even like even if you want to go like it's like the 1990s, they have no part in they absolutely 100% have no part in the racism. They absolutely and 100% have no part in actual slavery whatsoever. You would actually, and if you stop and if you people would open your eyes just for a second and start seeing that, like, if you start looking at white people of today and not viewing them as all racist, you will find out that most white people are not racist. I'm sorry that it might may break your bubble, or it might actually offend you in some way because you think all white people are racist when they're not. And I'm sorry that might offend you, but it's the actual fact. Most white people of today are not actually racist. Are there some places that are more racist than others? Yeah, sure. We could go to that standing. We could talk about it and see like how true that is or not. However, most white people are not racist. Most black people are not racist. Most Mexicans are not racist. So we're not gonna go to this grandstand that like most white people are racist or black people are racist. No. Now, are there racist black people? Of course there is. Of course there's racist black people. Are there racist Mexicans? Of course there's racist Mexicans. There's racist among every single race, but that doesn't mean the whole entire race is just racist. I don't like that narrative. It diversifies people. Um, Trying to constantly label and put hate onto white people is just completely insane, and having black people not take any type of like responsibility or anything towards their own racism towards white people is ridiculous. I have seen quite a few black people that are racist and said very racist things, and they don't get canceled or they don't get called out for. Actually, no, I take that back. It is the media platforms that actually don't necessarily call them out for it, and that's the disgusting part. Now, there's people that defend the racism, and that's fucked up. So I don't. But most people will go against the actual black people or anybody that's being racist, and attack that person specifically for or criticize that person specifically for what they said. Um, and that's the thing of that I may believe that is the correct term and correct way to handle things. All races should be criticized. All races should be shunned, 100%. Whether you're white or black or Mexican, regardless of the situation, regardless of race, all of them should be shunned. Um, And the fact that I may believe it's New York City that is, doing education camps or education, I guess you would say, for minorities or black people, and I find that horribly. I found that horrible. Um, Trying to label all white people as racist is ridiculous. New York City, you need to get your shit together, honestly, because that's just ridiculous. Um, that's that's not only not only insulting to my family, but all my friends that you automatically label as racist people, when obviously they're not. I mean, they could one day come out as racist, and I may never know. But as far as I can see, they have treated me above and beyond better than most people. So I would have be very very surprised if they find out that they're actually racist. Um, and some people say there's systematic racism, and I just don't believe it. Systematic racism is absurd to me. Yeah, some like if you're going around and you get pulled over 4 times, another person doesn't get pulled over 4 times. That doesn't mean necessarily there is racism. That everybody's experience is different. Everybody gets pulled over a certain amount of times. I know a few people of mine that have been pulled over for a lot of things, um, and it's just the way it is. Most of it is like if you're breaking the law, just don't break the fucking laws. I mean, it's just that fucking simple. I mean, if you're not gonna break the law, I mean, you're not gonna get pulled over or anything. Some people would like to adequate, oh, you've been pulled over 4 or 5 times and etc. stuff like that, and it always depends on the car, the color of the car too, because and actually the type of car as well, because cops will be more aligned to pull over certain cars just because for whatever reason, because speed demons, I guess. And you also take that into equation as well. If you're driving like a crappy car, you're probably not going to be put over as likely as somebody like in a Camaro or Mustang, because they're not a hot rod car. The police more kind of attracted to that, especially if they're red for some apparent reason. I don't know, fucking weirdos, dude. But it's just the way it is, and you have to take that into a factor as well. So I can't really label that as racism, um, at all. We have to take every person's experience and then put it as that way as well. Um, I the mere fact of people trying to push a narrative or push their agenda is wrong to me. Um, I don't think that should ever be a thing. These people that keep on talking about BLM and stuff like that, and I have a huge problem with BLM, and I may do that in another segment because I have a very hateful distrust and non-liking towards BLM. For a brief summary, I just don't like what they're doing. I think what they've done has been horribly negative to a lot of communities, not just one. And they're not correctly funded. They're correct. They're funded by the actual Democrats. Okay, so that's the first off. But again, I won't go into that segment. I'll probably make another segment about it and put more actual videos and actual evidence to what's happening, but of more evidence so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Um, but that's essentially what it is. And I don't think BLM's helping black people at all. I think it's actually hurting a lot of black people in particular. And a lot of people are angry about them for a lot of good reasons. Um, so I think if we start coming together and stop the division of, you know, people talking about racism and, people trying to label other people as racist just because, I feel it would be a lot better. I feel like we need to come together as people and, start talking about the actual issues that everybody is having, not just fucking one particular person. And this is how I feel like we can combat it, not by labeling a certain group as a racist group and then diversifying them or making people hate, or for this grandstanding, which some people do, as at a young age they'll tell their kid that the white people are racist or white people are bad or etc etc, and that puts a negative mindset onto other people, onto the kid in itself, because the kid will always be scared. He will always be like wondering, oh, is this white person racist, or is this white person out to get me? And that's a horrible mindset to put people. That puts people in a fear, that diversifies people, that makes unwarranted hate for no reason, and that shouldn't be a thing. The best way to do it is to one thing, tell your kids, and this is for not just black people, but for white people as well. If you're dealing with a cop, be polite. Do what they say, and just try to don't try to cause any havoc towards anyone. Or cause any issues, because there'll be problems. Just do what you're supposed to do, and hopefully you can come out of the situation alive. And that's normally what you should teach, not just black people, but everybody of any color, because it happens to everyone. It's not just one particular group of people. So this is why that you need to do this. Um, I don't believe telling people or your son or daughters that there's that all white people are out to get you, or you have to be careful when right people, because it's just not right. It doesn't set a good narrative. It doesn't set a good example, and it makes them fearful of what they can or cannot do, or it's like always watching your back, and that's not a good precedent. That's not a good mindset to be in. And I feel like if we teach our kids at the very beginning of our age of just like pretty much just telling them nothing, right? So like if we don't tell them anything about the actual racism, but teach them, just be careful on who talk to you. Just like treat everybody with respect, not because of the race, not because of anything else, but actual respect, regardless of color. And then they'll see like a more brighter future, a happier life, and less fear mongering on diversify of people. This is a much better way to I think mentor and doctrine people, help kids understand that uh, that not all white people are bad, and it sets a more healthier mindset for them, rather than having a negative mindset and causing fear and diversify. The country is very divided right now, and we don't need no more diversifying. Um, and I feel like if we can come together and start combating the actual issues at hand, then this will be a much better place. And as a black person, guys, white people, I feel bad for you as well, because you guys are also being labeled as as a hate group, as very racial, and I can see how that can have an effect on you. Um, I know that not all of you are bad. I know not all of you are racist. It's just not the true fact in things. And um, my empathy goes out to you, because this so-called white privilege crap is really also pissing me off as well. Um, because it doesn't mean really much of anything. Because I have plenty of friends that live in completely different backgrounds. Some more better than others. Some poor. Some that can barely put food on the table. Like, and this is for everybody. This is not just like a black person issue. This is not just a white person issue. This is not just a Mexican issue. This is an everybody issue. Everybody has these problems. Not every single white person has this amazing privilege that you so sought to be. Is now can black people ever get a job or not get a job, or etc. They can get a job. As a black person, I have never seen once where I have been discriminated against of getting an actual job. I have not seen it. I have not witnessed it. So I cannot see there's a systematic racism. I cannot see how there could be anything of the sort when there is nothing that is preventing me from doing what I want to do. I am doing YouTube because I want to do something. This is something that I want to do. I want to do something that I want to talk about, something that I have strong feelings about, and this is something I want to do. And you know what? Nobody's really preventing me from doing this. Um, there, nothing is preventing now. With the current people in place, well, that may be different. We may have somebody else be telling black people can't do this or black people can't do that. We'll wait and see. So far, it's not looking too terribly good. I mean, at least our current president. But as I said, there's nobody that's preventing me from doing what I want to do. There's nothing that's preventing women from not wanting what to do. You can do anything. This is America. So far, right now, it's currently a free country. We'll wait and see on that. But you can still do what you want to do, and nobody's preventing me from doing it. When people are telling you to not do something or you can't do it, don't listen to them. Keep on doing, keep on chugging along. Do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's what makes you happy, not what other people say about you and what people are trying to put you down. If anything, those are the people that are going to be preventing you from doing anything, and you listening to them. You not listening to them is the better way. So again, black people are not being discriminated against. There is not a system in place that is preventing black people from getting actual jobs. I have not seen that. In fact, there's more things writing about your ethnicity or race rather than and how black people get more points in school overall compared to actual white people. And Asians have it probably the worst in schooling. So if anything, if there's being discrimination against anybody in school, it's actually the Asians because they have to score much higher than white people or even black people. So I find that disgusting. That's racism, and that should be stopped. So there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. We all need to come together and talk about it. In particular, of you know, come together and talk about certain issues. But no more of this labeling people as this or that. It doesn't help. It diversifies and it hurts. So I hope you guys will start a discussion. We can talk about it. Hopefully we can see where we can meet eye to eye and start things going out fresh. Thank you guys. See you later and see you in the next video.